From the musical that we had here, A Church History Sort of, it was mentioned that at a certain point, John A. Cornell, as happens to all of us, grew old and feeble. Well, the old and feeble John A. Cornell is here this morning to speak about what will become of the church after he passes on.
Good morning, my dear brothers and sisters. I know you think it's funny, but don't get old. And I couldn't help, I was kind of half asleep waiting to come up here. The minister kind of long-winded, I discovered. I think you missed the birthday. Speaking of getting old, it was a Murray Hunt that's now in this congregation. I think we missed his birthday. Is he here today? Happy birthday, Mr. Hunt. You're getting old.
Same age as you are.
That's old.
For some time now, you have witnessed the decline of my physical health. It has now reached the point where it would be careless and irresponsible of me to not make preparations for our society's future. A future without me. It's been a great honor and joy to serve you these 42 years. And I thank you all for everything you have done to make our society the success that it is. They say that all good things must come to an end. But I do not believe that saying applies to our situation. I am confident that our church will live on and prosper after I am gone. And then our great-grandchildren's great-grandchildren will one day worship here. But we find ourselves at a crossroads now. And I've had discussions with many of you about the most desirable path to follow. And there have been many opinions given. I know that a good number of you wish to continue independently as the Beverly Reformed Christians, or the Cornell Society, since you insist on calling it that, despite my objections. But I fear that due to a serious lack of potential preachers, our society would be doomed to wither like a dying plant and be scattered by the winds. Some of you have suggested that we should merge with our Methodist brethren. Since their church is so similar to ours in so many ways, this is an attractive idea. It would certainly solve the problem of finding and supply of preachers. One obstacle remains, however, the fate of our brothers and sisters in Waterloo County. If we were but one church, limited to the Sheffield community, then the Methodists might be the best choice. But we are not just one church. We are an important part of many communities. And I will not cast half of the members of our conference into the wilds to fend for themselves. Our Waterloo brethren would not make happy Methodists. They are mostly Germans and fairly conservative in their traditions, and we need to bear their sentiments in mind. Fortunately, God has recently placed an opportunity before us that we cannot ignore. And it is an opportunity that will meet all of our needs in Waterloo and in Beverly. I have been in contact with Reverend Jacob Erb, a minister of the United Brethren in Christ, and they are looking to expand the denomination into Canada. Yes, they are American, but please don't hold that against them. Was I not born an American myself? Of all the denominations, the United Brethren are perfectly suited for our future. They stem from the same German revival movement as the River Brethren and the Tunkers. who inspired and influenced the foundation of the Beverly Reformed Christians. They are even more like us than the Methodists, and they have a well-established program of preacher training and supply. They are pious, evangelical, and forward-thinking. I pray that you will give the United Brethren a fair chance. They are our best hopes for our future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Cornell. Let us take a moment.